we get started each week with telling an introduction, reintroduction, where we are in the gardening phases. So I'll go ahead and go. My name is Darrah Perez-Good and I am one of the co-founders for Wind River Grow Our Own 307. And so a lot has been going on. We've been able to help people get their gardens tilled. We've been making garden boxes. We've been getting dirt from the mountains. We're gonna, I wanna start planting some seedlings for the next people that we're giving out starter kits. So instead of giving them seeds, we'll be giving them seedlings. So we'll probably be planting those today in a large amount. So we're doing that, and then we're also delivering 15 more starter kits today. And so right after the Zoom meeting here, we're gonna go out in the community and do that. So it's kind of been, it's been an exciting journey. So far to date, we've been able to help 59 families. Our goal is 100 families here on and near the Wind River Reservation. And so, yeah, we're excited. You know, during the harvest time, we're going to learn how to do canning. So that's another exciting thing. Last time we learned about kombucha. So I've been really paying attention to the mother, they call it the mother. I've been paying attention to it and turning it and making sure, you know, I'm feeding it the tea, and, you know, so everything's still good with that. Getting ready to my mom, actually for her birthday, which was the 19th, she had a greenhouse created. And so we were able to put some stuff in her greenhouse. And so I'm just gonna flip the camera and kind of just show a picture of that. Let's see. So yeah, so they built these raised beds in these raised things, and then they got some tomatoes and some peppers growing and different things. So, and then we got our potatoes. When we first started our journey, we had the potatoes, and so now my potatoes are totally to the top of the big container, and so they're growing on the top. So at night we can't cover it, and so now we've been putting it inside the greenhouse, and now we just got to put some ends on it, so a door and the other side. So that's where we're at in that. We got some other things that we started doing. My brother made this raised bed box yesterday, and so you know, hopefully we can get some more of these kind made. We made some collaborations. I wasn't gonna announce the collaborations yet, just because it hasn't been finalized. But yeah, I'll just kind of talk a little bit about it. We were able to collaborate with the Arapaho community with the diabetes program. It's under Wind River Cares. So hopefully that can get finalized. And what we're gonna do is be putting some of these raised garden beds there, and also tires. We went to the dump and we were able to get 20 tires and sanitize them, clean them. And we took 10 there, and then we took 10 to another location in Fort Washakie. So we plan to do the same thing there and have you know, some families get involved in adopting a garden bed and a flower bed. So that's kind of like what we've been doing. Been very busy, and you know, it's great. It's very rewarding work. I was telling people, it kind of feels like we're Santa for gardeners. You know, we come and we help people and bring them, you know, what they need, and their face just lights up, and they're like, oh, you know, we're glad to see you. And you know, it's good. It's good work to help people. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Danica.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Today's been a delayed morning. I lost my phone at Walmart. We went to go get some worms for the soil for Darrah's garden bed, and I set my phone on top of the hand sanitizer cart when you first walk in, and I was freaking out because I needed my phone for Zoom today. Luckily, someone turned it in, and 2 minutes before I connected, I picked my phone up. So I'm thankful for that. We've been coming along pretty good. I'm so thankful that we have our participants every week that join us on Zoom. that does mean a lot to us because Darrah puts her whole heart into this, and I just want her to get as much support as she can. So, but we've been growing here at home, and I think next Sunday we'll go ahead and plant them. I'll go ahead and flip my camera. Boom. Okay. So our strawberries did start to come up a little bit. These are just flowers. Squash, tomatoes, lettuce. And these are the tomatoes that Darrah sent by. Oh, thank you. And those are the ones that are going to go in the, well, he's watering them. Are going to go in the ground next week. What we plan on doing with them is donating them to everybody once we pick and harvest them with the harvest baskets that Darrah mentioned. And I'll go in my backyard. Hope my dog doesn't. Okay, so here's one of the beds where we're gonna put. There's my dog. Oh gosh. Here's some more. This is one of the planter boxes that I purchased, and this is the same pipe that we're gonna give away that we had in our drawing the other week. It's exactly the same, but I didn't fill it with dirt or anything. I just have my plants kind of growing. And then here we're gonna put a fence around it to kind of keep my big boy out. And then this is the potato box that Derek won. Well, this one's mine, but it's exactly the same. And it's the one that Derek won, the same type. And this part opens. Oh my gosh. And then the dirt inside with the potatoes on the bottom. And the side comes open on here. I don't want to open it because my dirt will come out. But you unhook the latch, pop it open, and your potatoes are supposed to fall out.
So, Danica.
Yes.
Maybe you can talk about maybe work it out with Derek since we're on and talking about the potato box. So we're going to be ordering the potato box for Derek, and Teresa won the planter and another one. And so we're going to be ordering those, and just kind of maybe we can give them an estimated time or date.
And then how they would want them, when and where they would want them delivered. So I guess when we come around to Derek, he can let us know what he wants us to do with his potato box. And then we'll probably have to reach out for Teresa. I know when when it comes to the house, I'll have to probably take it to her, and I know where she stays, but we'll just reach out to her outside of the Zoom to see when she wants to do that. But that's pretty much what we have going on here. I'm excited that we are collaborating with different programs. The planner, the tire planners that Darrah's been working on. I talked to my director, and I'm trying to get in touch with the CEO where I'm employed with the casino to see if we can put some around the Little Wind Casino. For our tire planners, mostly to kind of like, let our presence there be known at the casino. We have a lot of employees there. We're close to 500. Unfortunately, most of us are out due to COVID until we reopen, but it would be nice to have them, see what we're doing and keep in touch with that. And then hopefully when this all dies down, we can talk with the casino and seeing how they would be able to help with us in the future. I'll go ahead and pass it to the next person. And let me see who's under me. Chesie?
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm unmuted. You can hear me? So, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, first, I just thank you for the opportunity for this. I just really look forward to these Sunday events. And I am just so amazed at Darrah, being Wonder Woman, just all that she does. And I, she and Byron came over and helped get my garden bed ready. They tried out the new tiller that they were able to get, and on it, and I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. Hopefully you can see it. Um, and they brought in several loads of dirt to add to the topsoil on it, and so it's ready. In fact, I was hoping to plant on Friday, but I was a little scared because of the uncertainty about the weather. Also, they brought me the lumber stated, and layering it, learning a little more about how to make it better compost. Also, Thursday morning, I went to the Sweetwater Gardens and to get some flowers and tomato plants. And I was hoping to set them out on Friday, but again, I got scared. And so I took them out. I take them out for walks. And so they got to go out some on Friday. And but then I brought them in. And so now they're all on my kitchen stove. So I can see those. And you might wonder why I picked the kitchen stove to set them on, because it means I can't use the stove while my plants are there to cook. But I realized it was the one place in the house that the cats won't get to them, because they're scared of the stove. They know that that's a dangerous place, because any place else I would put them, they would have them at least partially demolished by now. So they're respecting them. So with that, I'll pass it on to Clarice.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to join. I find it very interesting. I finally got one of my raised beds completely built yesterday, so now it's ready to start putting in dirt. Plan to work on another one starting this week. This morning it was snowing here at my house. So I'm glad I hadn't planted anything out there yet. But that's all I have for right now. Thank you. And I will pass it on to, I believe LaDon is on.
Thank you, Clarice. Good to see you and everyone else. Yes, I look forward to these gatherings. I'm grateful to Darrah and Byron and Danica for all the help and support. So I've been out working today. I got to switch this around. I don't know how you do it. So I don't know if this is going to work or not, but the mini, what you call it, what are those called? Greenhouse. over the planters that Darrah and Derek put in. I mean, not Derek, Byron put in. So working on that. I want to find out when's the best time to plant. You know, nervous about that. So looking forward to learning today and passing it on.
Bonita, do you want to go next?
Yes, thank you ever so much. I love gardening. I love seeing what you all are doing. Oh my goodness. So I am a 10-gallon pot planter. I plant my garden in the 10-gallon buckets, and I'm an unabashed, unafraid of the weather, because the buckets give me the opportunity. Okay, so we're expecting snow. I can pick up the bucket and move it to the garage. Now that's like 15 buckets, so it's a little bit of a challenge, but I can also just cover the buckets. You know, the tomato plant is little, so I can just cover that bucket up. And I've learned to use burlap to cover the bucket when the sun is just too intense on them. I've learned that too. That works really well. But when I grew up in eastern Colorado, so when you're from Colorado, then you know the Four Corners region, and you grow up knowing about the cliff dwellers. And then you learn about the anasazi bean. So I was asked to talk about my most favorite garden subject in the whole world is these anasazi beans. So Ana, A-N-A-S-A-Z-I, anasazi beans. So I'm just going to read the back of the package. When I got here, it was unknown in the community. Like, what? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. You don't know about anasazi beans? So I had to order them from, of course, Amazon, because nobody had them. Nobody knew about them. So because of that, I said, that's it. I'm planting them. We're going to see what happens. So I took this huge flower pot. It was big. It was big. Big around. So I just threw beans in. I said, beans, I know you're going to do very well. You're going to be amazing. So do what you do. And they were absolutely amazing. I plant early. So if my garden isn't in by Mother's Day, I'm a little nervous because we have such an early frost here. And I've always been a Mother's Day planter. That's just what I am. So, but however, my anasazi beans didn't arrive till this week. So I soaked them, and I'm going to plant them today. And it was about this time that I would have planted them 2 years ago. I didn't have any last year, so I didn't, well, no, I did, but that was an odd year for gardens. Nothing worked. But anyway, so I have my beans. I'm going to plant them today, and I'm going to read you the back of the package. Anasazi beans were one of the few crops cultivated by the Anasazi Indians. Anasazi is a Navajo word meaning ancient ones. The Anasazi Indians are best identified for their architectural achievements known today as cliff dwellings, and inhabited these structures as early as, emphasis, 130 AD. Wow. Today, these structures can be seen in areas, Mesa Verde, all over New Mexico. These were the Indians that inhabited that whole inner mountain region, plain region of Colorado, New Mexico, way down south. So that's probably why they didn't make their way up north, but because Wyoming has the ideal growing temperature because of the humidity. There's a higher humidity here, which really adds to the cultivation and the ability for crops to grow. I I talk about this bean to anybody who wants to hear. This bean is ideal for growing. Number one, you can eat it green. If you want to eat it as a green bean, great. If you want to finish it off through the fall, let it harden, soften. Harden off, and till it looks dry. It's done. Then just open the shell, take out your beans, and you've got a package of beans. That flower pot produced one package of beans. Why this bean is so wonderful also, no backbone. They're, I think, better tasting, and I think they are, well, the key reason I like this bean is because there's no cooking it for days on end, hoping to finally get it soft. They are done in an hour. And I don't have time for pinto beans. What I learned about pinto beans is what we're buying off the shelf is possibly two years ago crop. Well, people are telling me that's why they're hard. That's why you can't cook them through. That's why they're an ordeal. And why I gave up years ago on pinto beans, because I don't have a source for this year's crop. And I just like anasazi so much better. What does it look like? It looks like a really vibrant pinto bean. The color on it is a really deep burgundy and white. And then sometimes the bean is just all burgundy. So it comes in a few different shades. So all burgundy or speckled burgundy and white. Beautiful bean. I love the history of them. I love how they grow. I love how they taste. I love that you can do a multitude of things with them to make them. And most of all, I love that they're done in an hour. I really, really like that. So that's all that I had to say about my most favorite bean in the whole world. So there you go. I'm going to pass it on to Derek.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. It's really nice to be here on this very lovely Sunday. So I have not been growing anything here because I'm leaving in just a couple weeks, unfortunately. But I've been, telling my family about our, great meetings, and my sister is actually starting a couple of seedlings back home in New York, which is really cool. And so, it's really great hearing about all this and learning, and even, seeing the videos of like the different planter boxes and stuff, because back home in the Bronx, we have like a very modest backyard because we live in the city. But so my mom has an herb garden, and so I definitely, want to start helping her out with that. And we have a little bit of space for, pretty small planter boxes. And then like a space that's now occupied by, grass and weeds and stuff. But I feel like, clearing out a little bit of that could definitely yield some sort of, great New York crop or something. Oh, with the potato planter. So thank you guys so much. That's really great. I didn't know that I had won it, but that's great to hear. So, I'm leaving in just a little bit. So I was thinking that, I think it's great that we're doing this. And I was also thinking about, somehow like including, like younger people, because like a few months ago, I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and they had this session where they were, teaching the kids growing, like carrots and beets and tomatoes and stuff like that. So maybe I could donate the potato planter box to, sort of like a youth organization, like, the Boys and Girls Club, or even one of the schools. I know the Arapahoe Charter School has their own greenhouse. So maybe they might need a potato planter box. And I think that, especially giving it to them this summer, I feel like, young people would really get a lot out of that. So if that's okay with you guys, I think that's what I want to do with the box. And with that, I'll pass it on. Let's see who's next. Danica went. Okay, I think Cass is next, so I'll pass it on to her.
Okay, hi everyone. What time is it? It's 11:28. So I'm only going to be on here until maybe 11:45, and then I've got to head over to do sack lunches. But I guess later today, I don't know, Darrah, just thinking about Darrah. Darrah's always on my mind. She's like constantly on the go, like go, go, go. And Darrah, you've been an inspiration, and you're such a hard worker. And they dropped off tires at the powwow grounds. And so later on today, hopefully if it doesn't rain, I'm gonna go over there and mow around where those tires are. And their idea was to have families adopt these tires to plant, like make a flower garden in, like a flower bed, and then to put garden boxes beside those tires, and to where families could plant their whatever they want to plant there. So that's really a great idea, and the entertainment committee is very supportive of it. And I'm just brewing some tea right now for my kombucha. I got my SCOBY like Wednesday from Rory, and so I'm excited about that. I went into the brand that I buy at Walmart. It costs $2.69, and then I went to Safeway because I was out, and the price there per bottle was like $3.69, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna pay that. And so yeah, I reached out to Rory and got a SCOBY, and so I'm excited to I don't know, for that. So with that, I will pass it on to, I don't even know if I can. I can't see anything.
Sean, maybe Sean, do you want to go next?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just excited to wait for the plants to start growing and stuff, like to start like growing fruit and stuff and vegetables. That's gonna be really fun. And then like it's nice to see like something my mom likes doing and stuff. And I don't know, I think it's just really cool. It keeps me busy for now. Gives me something to do. Being stuck at home 24/7, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
Maybe Elijah, you want to go next?
Hello, good morning. It is a pretty exciting time. I'll admit this. My sister and Darrah are doing freaking amazing things. Danelle, Danica, the things that they're doing for the community, I think it's pretty freaking awesome. Only a few people are doing great things like they are, and it's like everyone was saying, it's pretty inspirational. It's actually shocked me into wanted to help more. So my sister has a plan for me later on, so I'm going to be doing that with her. But yeah, for the most part, it's exciting. I think it's awesome, and I think everyone's doing a pretty darn amazing job. And I want to thank the main people that decided to freaking put this together, which is Darrah and she reached out to my sister, and both of them been hard at work doing amazing things, like I said. But that's all I got to say. And I think I'm the last one. I could be wrong. No? Okay.
There's two more.
Let me look here. All right. I'll pass it on to Amanda then.
Hi guys. First I want to say thank you for inviting me to join this call today. I guess I was asked to come just introduce myself and what I do. So I am the University of Wyoming Extension Educator for the Wind River Reservation. So I am here to help provide resources for gardening, farming, ranching. I also do 4-H youth development on the reservation. So we would love to have kids come join 4-H. But I guess kind of the other thing that I do is I'm the co-coordinator for Fremont County on the Master Gardeners program. I'm also the coordinator, the main coordinator for Junior Master Gardeners, which is for kids. And so we just have lots of different resources and classes throughout the year, mostly in the spring, and then we typically have some in the fall also that specifically deal with canning and preserving your food. And then, you know, like if you get bugs or if you have a weed that you can't figure out how to deal with and it's just becoming a pain, but you don't know what it is, you can bring it to me and I will help you to figure out what it is and how to fix it. And so I'm mostly just here for resources and to answer questions that you guys may have about gardening. And like I said, so I can get you, we can talk about a Master Gardeners program. We can also talk about a Junior Master Gardeners program and what that would look like for you guys and what you would want to see or expect from me. So.
Thank you very much, Amanda. So we'll
Yeah.
open it up at the end for questions for you and for the other guest speakers. So Gary, do you want to go next? Gary, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, it's your turn. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. First off, I applaud everybody for stepping up to do what you're doing. And I think it's the project itself is a seed for development of the community as we move forward. I'm glad Amanda was on, but one of the things that University of Wyoming can do with their master's program and others is agronomy and horticulture and Laramie can really assist us in deciding how we should grow our plants, what we should grow, and leading innovations about fertilizers and other kinds of things. So I think that they have little sample bags you can put soil in and send that to the university or any other lab that you want to. I've been in touch with a friend of mine in Omaha, Nebraska, who actually does a curriculum at the school for the students with the large greenhouse, and they grow things all year long and they make a tremendous effort in the educational process. But they have a lab there that they use in Omaha, just to take a couple bucks and a couple days turnaround time, but it's called Midwest Labs. And the number, if you want to take it down, is 402-334-7770. And I think we should utilize that lab, send off our samples of soil, wherever it may be, to do it. Having said that, with all the work done in the elevated and the box structures that Darrah and others have done, the soil you put in there will be of prime soil, or because you would handle it that way, just like Chesie said with all the soil in her buckets. So there might not be much fertilizer per se in those boxes because you've already handled it several times. It would be a loamy soil and it would be amenable for growth. However, if you have a larger garden, it probably would be advisable something out of the box to take a sample in a couple places and send that off to see what your soil nutrients are. The biggest thing here that I've seen in Wyoming is having alkaline soils. In other words, if you see soil with a white chalky substance on top, that's too much salt. It's very difficult to grow. The only one I think there would be called cedar. The realm of soil testing with compost in your boxes probably wouldn't be required, but if you have a garden that's maybe big as somebody's yard, 20 feet, 30 feet wide by 30, 40 feet wide, long, you might want to do some soil testing there because that soil is already in existence. So, and then of course, once something's planted, you can fertilize it with plant food and so forth to develop the phosphate and the nitrogen that the plant needs. So with the small boxes and the small gardens, everything is going to be personalized, so to speak, so you'll be able to grow whatever you want. The schedule, the challenge is how tall do you want your corn, and how many squash plants do you want, and how many tomatoes do you want, that kind of thing. So in this first round, getting something to grow, I think, is important. And then that will perpetuate other thoughts to move forward, just like Sean mentioned, that he could have vegetables and everything. And of course, him, like me, being a diabetic, it's important to have those fresh vegetables. So a couple other points. There's a firm in Laramie. I don't know if they're still there or not, but I think they are. They have what's called a vertical garden. They take a pipe, a PVC pipe, 6 inches or so in diameter, and they cut slots in the side of it, and they put a mesh, soil mesh in there of a fibrum or a sorghum, and then they put little seeds in there. And what they have is a fresh herb garden right in their kitchen. So if they need some cilantro or some sage or some thyme, they just reach over and pick off a couple plants and use it right there. I mean, it's, how fresh can that be? So there's something inside that you can do year round with a little vertical garden. And at the same time, I don't know if you all ever get to Jackson, there's a facility there that is a vertical garden. They have a rotating system that the plants come up alongside the window on a conveyor belt, and they go up the side of the window, then they go back around and come again, and they grow all kinds of stuff for the local vegetable community there in Jackson, particularly tomatoes. So that's a business. It's a business plan that's out there. I can't remember the name of it, but it's pretty impressive. So what I'm saying is there's an indoor system in Jackson that works pretty well. There's an indoor system that we can use, the space in Laramie, that you could do for cheap. And then of course we have all of our boxes that will be taken care of. And the critical thing in the boxes is to have compost, have the soil that's going to be utilized for the growth. So before you put it in or before you plant, you should have it all mixed up in a compost situation where the soil is vibrant and able to grow. If it's something bigger than that, then you would want to take a soil test and see what your qualifications are for any additional fertilizers or nitrogen or just what have you in terms of plant food. So, and the critical thing we haven't gotten to yet is insects. Everything you've done to get the ground ready and to get the plants planted is pretty substantial, but once they get growing, there's insects that show up from 30 miles away that tend to go right to your cabbage, right to your garden, eat all your beet leaves. So we have to start thinking about what to do about the varmints that come there, the caterpillars and so forth. And of course, when you grow corn, every raccoon in the county will be there. And so you've got to be protective of what you grow and how you grow it, so it's not all out by itself, vulnerable to the animals that eat those things. So the critical thing, though, in a box is to make it nutrient positive, is to have a good compost soil. And you can get, manure at Walmart. You can get some out here on the reservation, different places. But we have it all here. We just need a little coddling to get it done. I planted my garden the other day, but I forgot to take the seeds out of the envelopes. So I got to dig them back up and open the envelope so I can plant them. Anyway, that's what I've got to say. Again, University of Wyoming has all those resources that really should be pressured We shouldn't have to ask them. They should be out here doing what we need without any question. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Benita, and thank you, Amanda. So yeah, so today it's kind of going to be a short Zoom meeting because we're going to be doing the delivering in the community, and we find that when we go out with as many as we have today, it takes about, we'll be done about 5 or 6 this evening. So yeah, the sooner we get started, the sooner we can get done. But I just wanted to also share something that I got in the mail yesterday. So I had ordered some seeds online, and I ordered them. And when I first opened it up, I thought it looked like trail mix. You know, it looked like trail mix. But so this company that I ordered them from, they're called the Flower Heal Institute. And I got them from flowerhealinstitute.com, I believe it was. So on the back it says Milpa Garden Warm Season, and it says this bag here, it contains cucumbers, squash, pumpkins, beans, radishes, okra, melons, millet, Swiss chard, various flowering plants, 53 total items. It says a special thanks to the Native American Agricultural Fund for their support. And so like we got all these seeds, and so I think we got to separate them, and so yeah, we're probably gonna go and separate them, but we'll have these seeds as well. We'll probably put them in little envelopes and give them out to people, I'm thinking. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that as well. And I really want to say a big thank you to all the people who have supported us, you know, who have gave us monetary donations to help, and grants, and you know, all this stuff. It's just been amazing. It's beyond words, you know. I mean, like I said, when we first started, this just started out with it was just an idea, and you know, in a matter of a couple of days, it just took off and became something really, really great, you know. And so we're happy, you know, to do this in the community, and you know, we look forward to continue this on for like next year and the years to come, and we just get bigger, and we be able to help more families. You know, that's the whole part of it, is be able to feed ourselves and to shoot toward eliminating some of the health disparities that we face. And so, yeah, so I don't know, is there any questions for any of the speakers?
This is Gary. I have one more comment. There's an organization based in Billings. It's called the Intertribal Agricultural Council. It's been going on for 30 years. And I was a charter member of that organization, but they've progressed and developed what's called Intertribal Ag Youth Program. So I think that might be a link we could look at to coordinate with other tribes and other situations that would enhance what we're doing here now. Intertribal Ag Council.
And I just a quick comment, that 2 quick comments I would like to share, add on. Amanda probably already knows a Professor Jill Fabricius at Laramie at the college. And she's doing some really neat work too with plants, Wyoming plants, but everything. So I just wanted to have Amanda give Professor Jill Fabricius a shout out. And then we would refer to it as a weed, but it is highly, highly nutritious. And it is something that's been in the world's culture forever. Unfortunately, America doesn't eat it. I know that Europe does. And this is purslane. Everybody should probably just go, oh my word, purslane. It's obnoxious, horrible, but cultivated, highly, highly nutritious. Eat it in your salads, cook it up. There's lots of ways to use it. So if you see purslane, it's a cousin. It would be in the same family as portulaca. So it's a succulent, but really highly nutritious. So that's what I wanted to say.
Darrah, I have a question for Amanda.
Okay.
Amanda, wondering, you talked about a master gardener. So were you thinking of doing a master's gardeners for this group?
If that's something that they would want, yes. We could also do other gardening classes that maybe aren't master gardeners classes, that are more beginning gardening classes and things to think about as you're getting started, and kind of basic things, or we could go full on master gardeners. So it's kind of whatever you guys are wanting and what you're needing the most.
Very cool.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I'd be very interested in that. And then I just wanted to make a comment about Jill Fabricius Keith, is that she was the, she is the professor that the Restoring Shoshone Ancestral Foods invited to be part of reclaiming and restoring those ancestral foods. So, and we often meet at your building, because you're at Frank Weiss, right? Yeah. So, and I'm sure you've already met her, right?
Yes.
Amanda? Okay.
Yep, I have. And yeah, she is pretty she's pretty great to talk to and listen to. But yeah, I was gonna send it back to you, LaDawn, as far as the Shoshone Culture Foods and that project that they're working on.
So that was one of the reasons why we wanted to invite you, Amanda, so we can hear more about the Master Gardener program. Because I know myself, I'm interested, and I wanted to see how much of an interest we had within our group, and that we're here, and we wanted to go forward with that. I think Danica was also interested in that.
Okay, yeah, so just to tell you a little bit about the Master Gardeners program, it's typically 8 to 10 sessions that are a couple of hours long, and you learn about topics from vegetable gardening, taking care of your lawn, trees, soil. There's just a whole variety of topics. And then the other part of Master Gardeners that makes it Master Gardeners is you become a volunteer to help others, kind of like you're already doing, is just to help others to get started and get going, and just be an expert for them and a resource for them to reach out to also. And so to become an actual Master Gardener, I believe you have to do 40 hours of volunteer work, which at this point you're well above that. And so, and then, yeah, you're just a resource for people to call. And you have the background of how to deal with bugs and how to deal with the weeds in the garden or in your flower garden. So, but yeah, we can definitely put something together if there is interest.
Perfect. That sounds great. Yeah, we'll get together. I'll reach out to you, and we can maybe set something out once we decide on a date and stuff.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Is there any other questions for any of the speakers that spoke today?
I have Sean, for him to get involved in the junior Master Gardeners program, is there an age limit? He's just turned 15 years old.
No, at 15 we would probably have them be more of a helper or mentor through the program. So junior Master Gardeners is aimed for like 4 to maybe 12. The lessons are, but oriented, and they work good, like just to bring the whole family in. And then also, like, I tend to use those little bit older kids as my mentors for the little kids, and kind of just to help get them excited about gardening and somebody to look up to.
Thank you.
Perfect.
So
All
this
right.
is, hey, Darrah, can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Kathy and Tim Thomas, which you probably know, Amanda, because they have been master garden for 20 years. They've been sustainable here in the community, and they even grow some indigenous foods. And I had seen them at Sprouts and was talking to them about this group, and they talked about that they would be in support, of helping, with the group. So, and they even talked about like a garden party, of coming over to their house, and they have amazing garden, just huge, and they have goats and they have bees and they are pretty well sustainable. They provide for their family with foods. And then also a woman from Jackson who is part of like the whole vertical gardening thing. She also invited, if we want to go over and we want to look at that, vertical garden place, that she would give us a tour. So just offering those two invitations to the group.
Perfect. Thank you, LaDawn.
I was gonna say that's great information. So it's typically going somewhere and learning about how they do it and what they do. So that would be a great little field trip.
So, this is Chesie, and when Benita talked about the purslane weed or whatever, I'm not even sure what she's talking about, but that's something I'd like to learn more about, what these weeds look like, because I bought a house here in 2014, and there's stuff I don't know whether it's flowers, weeds, or what, and what I should try to get rid of or what I should try to utilize. So I would like maybe more information about, discerning our weeds and what we can do about them in the future. And then also about the anasazi beans, I guess a question for Benita, because I have bought anasazi beans when at farmers market kind of events, and but those are probably not ones that are good for planting as seeds, right?
Well, actually, they are. Now, what I learned from ordering, so Mesa Verde has the planting bean, but I just planted from the bag. That's what I planted from. It's a seed. Probably the master gardener would say, oh, you need to get the cultivated bean to plant. Well, I didn't. I just planted from the bag. I had great success. I'm satisfied with that. Maybe as I learn more and discern more, I'll go up in my knowledge. But I just planted out of the bag. I'm probably known as the weed lady here in Riverton because I sit on my bucket and I pull weeds. So a book that I really have grown up with and love is called Weeds of the West. So when I can't remember anyway, I go look it up, Weeds of the West. So the word that I was using is purslane. So P as in Paul, URSLANE. And it's, wow, it's a bad one. But I say that and then correct myself because it's so edible and so nutritious. And I think we just need to teach ourselves, throw it in your salad, cook it up like you would any other vegetable, eat it. Well, look it up for yourself. Because if you don't think you're going to like that, then don't. But really highly nutritious. I like just picking the leaf off, cleaning it with a little water, clean it up and pop it in my mouth. That's the part I like. Now, there's so much of it, and I've gotten rid of a whole lot of it, so it's not quite as bad here anymore where my weeds are. But that's what I know.
What does it look like?
Oh, so if you know what moss rose or portulaca looks like, purslane is in the same family, but it has a much broader leaf. It's a succulent. So and it is absolutely everywhere. So when you look out in your gardening and in your beds and stuff, it's going to be low to the ground. Look, it's a beautiful weed because it flowers. It's a beautiful flowering weed. You might think, oh, that's such a pretty flower. Well, it is, but not when it takes over, typical. And it has it looks like a succulent, low to the ground, and more fertilizer you give it, the more takeoff it does.
Perfect. Are there any other questions, comments, anything else that we want to talk about before we go?
I have one more comment, Darrah, is in response to Chesie's request. I just wonder if it makes sense to, at some point, invite John Mayenczynski.
We would love to have John. That would be amazing. Yeah, maybe we can talk about that for maybe next week or the week after. That would be something that would, I think the group would benefit from that.
You know, and there's also Meredith and Tori Taylor. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're gonna get a list from you, LaDawn, and yeah, because you know a lot of people like from the Jackson, and because I would love that. That tour sounds amazing. That sounds good.
I can
I
set
have
it
a
up.
question. So if we wanted to grow anasazi beans, where would we purchase or order them from online?
Well, I would, for now, I will get, however I can get you my pack of beans. I will give you beans, because when you order them, you have to order like 50,000 of them. So I have enough to share. Now, they're the bean in the bag. That's what I plant with. If you really are persnickety and you really want the top grade, then you'd have to go to Amazon and order their cultivation bean. But I'm not that persnickety. I know a bean and I know that will grow. So that's all I need to know. So I can get you some. So what I'll do is I'll keep my bag here at church at St. John. I'll even keep it outside at the door. If you would live in Riverton and want to just come by, you're going to see this bag of beans at the door. Grab it, go, have at it. Call me at St. John if you want more. I'll get them to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Last call. Anybody out before we gotta go? Nobody? All right. Well, we just want to thank you all for coming to the Zoom and sharing all your knowledge and what's going on with your gardening. We are always excited. It gives people inspiration and motivation when they see other people and what they're doing. So that's always a good thing. And so we've been recording this, and we'll share the recorded on our Facebook page. And so that'll be there to reference back if anybody wants to reference back, if they didn't write something down. So yeah, and so again, we want to thank everybody. And Danica, do you have anything you want to say before we go?
No, next week, we could probably go over what we're gonna do next week. If not, then we'll just post it on our Facebook page.
Perfect. All right. Well, then we'll see everybody next week. And Benita, I would like to come pick up some of them beans, so I'll be by to get some. I would like to try to grow some. So yeah, so
Okay.
expect to see a bag gone from me. All right then. Well, we'll take care.
Thank
and
you,
we'll see
everybody.
everybody.
All right, thank you,
Day.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.